Cities are transforming rapidly. New businesses flourish, trendy bars sprout everywhere, housing prices are soaring. Most studies explain these urban transformations by pointing to the rise of a new middle class. In my research on gentrification, I acknowledge the importance of class, but I argue that gender is an equally important yet neglected dimension in the production of urban space. I analyze this through the lens of parenthood. Parenthood is a key phase in the reproduction of class and gender relations. I combine qualitative, quantitative and spatial analysis to investigate how urban transformations are related to both class and gender. So the question is, how do class and gender intersect in the production of urban space?
My project is called Chemical Youth. In Chemical Youth, we study what chemicals, and we mean chemicals very broadly, synthetic, organic, chemicals, legal and illegal, what they do for young people, what kinds of functions they have in their everyday lives, but also more specifically, how young people do those chemicals. The study is done in Indonesia, the Philippines, France and the Netherlands. In Indonesia, one of the case studies looked into what these two products do for young people. On the left, you have Tissue Super Magic Man, which is used by young men. On the right is a product called Daun Siri, which young women use vaginally. The research looked at the details of how these products are used and what they want to achieve with these products. And in doing so, we are also looking at the gender scripts of these products. So what kind of gender identity and sexual identity is expressed when you're using either Super Magic Man tissue or Daun Siri?
The distinction between sex and gender is familiar in our social scientific practice and normative theorizing. We think of it as an achievement of 20th century feminist theory. Surprisingly enough, in the 18th century already, Bernard Mandeville published a book, The Fable of the Bees, in which the distinction is already fully present. The Fable of the Bees was a controversial and scandalous book because, to simplify, it argued that in order to have public wealth, people needed to pursue their vices and immoral behavior. In that book, Mandeville analyzes gender construction for men and women. He emphasizes the way in which gender roles oppress both sexes. This I found very surprising, and I wondered what elements of his methodological outlook made him so sensitive to this aspect of our moral phenomenology. So my question became, what methodological commitments drove Mandeville into distinguishing between sex and gender?
While we know a lot about how immigrant men are doing on the labor market, we know rather little about their female counterparts. And considering that the gender ethnic diversity on the labor market will increase over the next decades, and considering the demographic challenges, the increasing labor demand, but also the fact that immigration has become more feminized, the following three questions have to be asked. First, to what extent do immigrant women participate in the labor market? Second, under which conditions do they actually have to work? And third, does this vary across countries?